Alright everyone, welcome back for another video. This is the second one of the day because I decided to push more on that event and to obtain that back accessory, because you know that at the moment I'm trying to be the Martial Sage's crazy build in PvP. If you want to know more about that build, you can check my previous videos. I already made 2 videos talking about that in detail, and you will see how hard it is to beat these tanky players. So that back accessory in fact is reducing the combo counter skill crit rate and pal crit rate by 15%. And the problem is in PvP that Martial Sages are going with an avian using punch counter. I'm gonna show you that directly through here. So if I'm showing you that player, for example, this is someone of my family and I'm currently trying my build on that guy. So they are using that avian, giving some damage based on max HP every 5 seconds at 3.33%. This is a very high amount. And then they have that affix, and for every counter strikes, they have 50% chance to deal 1% of the target max HP in damage. And this is releasing insane damage in fact. So there are some ways to lower that amount of damage, but even with these ways, I'm not able to beat that guy. Of course I'm not, because he has way more power than me with a crazy amount of HP. And just so you know every detail, the goal of the build is to go crazy on the HP, then to increase by a lot your basic attack multiplier, so it's gonna increase your damage based on max HP, the cap. You will deal way more damage thanks to that. You want to have as well a lot of resistances, and look at that. Just because he is a Martial Sage, he has a crazy amount of damage resistance, 47%. I also made a video talking about the damage resistance and the impact it had on the damage you were taking, and this is a lot. 47% is a crazy amount. And he has also a lot of combo damage resistance at 86% and a lot of crit resistance. So in fact, these players have everything to counter the Plume Monarchs, right? So my goal is to try to still deal a lot of damage. And this is the reason why I decided to go for that back accessory, because if I can reduce by 15% the counter strike of the target, maybe it's gonna be great, right? So I want to show you first the build I am currently using, because I worked a lot on that, and this is the best thing I found to increase my damage and survive longer against them, okay? So just let me check. Yeah, I'm still using that. First of all, let's go through the build. I'm going to show you what I am currently using, and you can already see that I'm not using the skills that I am generally using. I am using 2 skills dealing some damage based on max HP. The Blade Pierce and the Dragon Strike, I think it's the name. Let me explain that to you. So if I go here, I'm dealing some damage. This is only a few damage, but then you deal some damage based on the target max HP. 2% of the target's max HP, and then some additional damage for every 10% of damage resistance on the target. He has almost a 50%. So with that skill, I can deal a crazy amount of extra damage. Trust me, this is the best skill you want to take if you want to deal damage on tanky players. Apparently, it works really well. Then I'm using the Blade Pierce because it deals some damage, but this is not the best I can have. But then, one more time, over time, it's gonna deal some more damage based on max HP. And these 2 skills works perfectly well. And then for the pals, I'm using the Deer because I want to survive longer so I can cast again my skills. I'm still using some more attack speed and the Hydro Sprite to reduce my cooldowns. And for that, on the talents, I changed something as well. If I show you my sorcery tree, here you want to go for the wand, so you are going to reduce the heals received by the target. Otherwise, they are going to heal crazy during the run, and you have the same on the Tame Beast tree here. 20 on 20. This is very, very, very important. Then you want to maximize your attack everywhere, of course, and on the sorcery, you want to increase your energy skill regen, because you can skill more often the Blade Pierce and the Dragonic Resonance thanks to that. So this is very helpful. Then on the archery, of course, you want to go for a base attack, for combo damage, here as well, and for the crit damage bonus here. You want to take the one on the yellow and the one on the blue if you have enough points. This is the first thing to take here on the archery tree. And then at the top, you want to lower the counter damage, increase your counter damage resistance, because it's still gonna help you to survive longer, even if the target doesn't have a high counter multiplier, you are still taking some counter damage over time, so you want to increase that at least. Put 10 on 20, and here you want to increase your basic attack damage resistance because it helps as well. On the Fury, you want to go for this one because the goal is to survive more than 15 seconds, so you are going to have more attack speed and more stats over time. If you can survive more than 45 seconds, then it's even better because you are going to have some more attack and you will have more chance to kill the target normally. And then something more on the sorcery, I maxed out the ignore counter because I was wrong in fact. It's very random, but sometimes you are ignoring the counter, so you are not taking the damage based on max HP triggered by the counter strikes. So you want to put 10 on 10 in here and 10 on 10 here as well. So you have plus 40%. If I show you my stats, I have a 74% crit rate because I'm missing one piece of gear here. I don't have a combo crit rate here. I am going to work on that in the future, but I need to be crazy lucky if I want to recover that piece of gear. So I have a lot of combo just in case they want to reduce my combo. So I still have a lot. Then the important stat here, ignore counter 40%. I have a crazy amount of crit damage. I don't care about the crit resistance. This is not the goal. It's not going to reduce by a lot of damage you take. Then I have a 4000% basic attack multiplier. You don't need to go too high on that because your main source of damage are also coming from your combo and crit damage, okay? This is why the build is interesting because you are dealing some damage over time thanks to your class, and you are also dealing some extra damage over time thanks to the max HP of the target. So this is the goal. So here, counter damage resistance, 45% almost. This is very important too. And finally, damage resistance, I have 25%. I have the 15% given by the deer pal, and I have 10% coming from another artifact, okay? But then, I'm in the top 100 of players, so this is why I need to use broken things, right? Here, if you have the items, this is okay, but if you are playing versus weaker players, then you can try to replicate the same things at your level, if you know what I mean. So then with these, I'm using that in main skill, so I have more attack and defense during the run. The defense helps me to stay alive a bit longer. I'm using that so I have a bit more crit rate during the fight when I'm releasing the passive skill, and this is cool because here I'm using a passive skill, so this is gonna work. And same comment here, when I'm gonna fall down below 50% of HP for the first time, I'm gonna have some more attack speed for 12 seconds. So this is cool as well. Then let me show you my souls. This is what I'm currently using. I have a lot of HP because I have some things that are increasing my power thanks to my max HP. For example, 100 slashes. I'm getting more attack in function of my current HP. So the more I have, the more the attack I'm gonna have. This is important for that. Then I balanced my combo, my crit damage and attack, and I decided to put a bit more points into the basic attack so I can have a bit more damage based on max HP. And for my scrolls, this is what I have. I increase my HP and then the attack and the crit damage. Add the prayer statue as always, global combo everywhere. I could try to have a bit more than that. On my ancient, this is what I currently have. I feel like I'm gonna replace this one because the counter damage resistance is a bit weaker. You have almost no difference, let's be honest, but with that I can survive just a bit longer, so I am generally using that. So this is what I have here, combo damage 600% with some extra global basic attack, and that would be better to have global combo here first, but hey, I am not lucky on that. Here, basic attack damage resistance on the rune number 5 with some global basic attack damage and global combo. That would be better to have a higher coefficient here, but I'm using what I have. Crit damage, of course, in rune number 6 with some extra global combo. That's important. Here I have nothing helpful, so maybe I can change this one. In fact, let's check what I have on the others. Unfortunately, I don't think I have more global combo. I'm working on this one at the moment, so maybe it's gonna proc in global combo next, but I need to work on that. Here, global combo 13%, so this is cool. And finally here at the top, some extra global combo as well. Then this is the avian I'm using. The affixes are great, but this is the wrong avian. I don't care about using the Sunshine Bringer here. It would be way better if I had instead the Firefly or the Horus or Michelle. I don't know exactly which one is the best. Apparently this one is releasing a lot of damage. You can proc the 50 instances very fast during the run. I need to try that, but I have known with the right affixes, so I'm currently working on that here, as you can see. And there is another one that I would like to try because they are doing that, so why shouldn't I try that? This avian, so I would have more damage based on max HP, and I'm pretty sure that it would work really well here. So this is something on what I'm gonna work on in the future. So it's time to go in PvP. Oh no, wait, sorry. Before I want to talk about the items I'm using. I'm using the crocodile mount because this is the best to deal some extra damage versus tanky builds. Because you know you have some more damage based on max HP, and over time you are gonna lower the damage resistance by up to 10% and the crit resistance by up to 100%. So the longer you stay alive during the fight, the more the damage you are gonna deal over time. So this is the best mount to use. This one is very cool as well, but only for the 21st seconds, because after that you are gonna take all the stored damage and you are gonna die very fast. So I recommend to use this one instead. And the Cloud Drifter, by the way, is working almost the same, so use the mount you have. For the artifact, yeah, you need an artifact if you want to go for that. If you want to stay alive longer during the fight, this one is the best one. You are going to release less damage than with the Beast Robo, but the fact is that you are going to have a lot of heals, so you are going to stay alive longer, and you are going to release more damage over time, so you have more chance to win. And finally, this is where I am mitigated. I don't know if that word exists in English though, but in fact, let me explain. Here, this one is an amazing one because you are going to block a lot of damage during the first seconds of the fight. You have a lot of increased in attack speed, energy regen, and this is helping a lot to deal more damage. But every 12 seconds, the effects are reduced by 1/3. So over time, the longer the fight, the less the effects you are going to have, and you are going to see that I'm going to deal less damage at the end of the fight. But if it was just a bit different, that would be awesome. This is still the best one to use because I tried most of them. With the others, I died too fast. And with this one, I can survive longer and deal more damage. So this is still the best one to use. So now I think that it's finally time to try the build in PvP and to try the different back accessories and the different mounts I have. I'm not going to switch that artifact. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do that. So you will see the difference when I'm not using the Candlelight, when I'm using instead the Beast Robo or another one. You know what? Let's do multiple tests. So these are the first set of items I'm going to use. So let's go in PvP, and I'm going to try that versus a very tanky player. He has a bit more power than that. Don't trust that power. Look at the stats he has. 1100, and this is just crazy, okay? So he is using exactly that build in practice mode. I asked him to switch to that build, so let's check that. Let's see how does it work. This is the combination of the best items I have at the moment. So let's see how long I can survive and how much damage I can do. So as you can see right now, directly at the beginning, I'm not taking the same damage as before on my previous video. So it depends on luck then. Because if I can proc the 40% ignore counter most of the time, then I'm pretty safe, and over time I can heal thanks to the artifact I'm using, the Candelabrum. But if I'm not lucky, I'm gonna take all the counters and then it's gonna change absolutely nothing. So when I'm taking a lot of damage, this is what is happening. So look at that. The result, this is my best shot so far. But I'm gonna die very fast, but look at that. I'm pretty proud of that. But you know what? Let's retry, and so you are gonna understand that the fight is very random. So this is the second time I'm trying. And let's see the difference. Look at that. Already I started to take more damage than before at the beginning. As I said, it really depends on the counter, ignore counter, when you have the luck to proc the 40%. Look at that. I took way more damage than before already. And I inflicted a bit less. And by the way, did you see the damage here? The damage he took? That was coming from the Blade Pierce and the Dragonic Resonance. Look at that. The damage based on max HP are working very well in very endgame for very high spenders, let's be honest, in the top 100 of Arena. This is working very well. So the more the HP on the target and the more the stats you have, the more the damage you are going to release thanks to the max HP. I feel like the meta changed because now we have crazy stats. Okay, so that was the first series of tests. Now let's change my back accessory, and you know what? Let's use this one because there is something that I forgot to mention. But if I go back in here in the spring banquet, do you know how much I needed to spend to acquire the back accessory for the first time? Let's just check here. This is where I am. So someone told me that he could have the back accessory within $100. I had to spend $500. Yes, I decided to spend a bit more because I'm trying. I feel like that artifact, that back accessory, is pretty interesting for that kind of situation. So I decided to push a bit more and try to get it. I really thought that I could get it within $300, but then I had absolutely no luck to proc the 0.7%, so I had to go all the way to the guarantee here, $500, to proc the reward rank A and the reward rank S. Because when you hit the guarantee, you are not getting the A, but you are getting the S. But you have also no remaining reward, so you are getting the last ones, right? So this is what happened to me. I got it twice, at the beginning, at the end, sorry, on the full guarantee. Wow, so that event is a scam for me. That was too expensive to obtain only one back accessory. This is not even an artifact. The artifact is supposed to be very expensive, but on the secondary event, normally 250 is the max when you are not lucky, but here it was double. So yeah, whatever. Let's check if I equip that. Yes, that's the case. So I'm using exactly the same as before, but now let's see how long I can survive during the fight. There we go. Third attempt with a different bag that time. So normally I should take less counter strikes, right? So let's see if I take less damage. For now, it's pretty close, right? But there is something more. When you're using that back accessory, you don't have the energy skill regen, you don't have more attack speed than before, so that you can survive maybe a bit longer, but you deal less damage to the opponent. And look at that. Generally, I die around 30 seconds. And did you see the result on the target? You know, just by curiosity, I'm gonna do a second fight so we can see if there is a difference based on luck. Let's see if I can survive more than 30 seconds that time. And if I can do more damage on the opponent. Okay, already 15 seconds. So now thanks to the talents, I have more attack speed. I'm casting the Blade Pierce again. He is healing so much that I can't deal any damage at all. The Alien Dimension back accessory is very cool to increase your damage over time. Look at that. I was more lucky, so I was able to stay alive a bit longer, so I could cast a bit more skills and deal more damage. But it was less efficient than when I was using the Alien Dimension. And by the way, just by curiosity, let's use this one because it's also going to reduce the damage I take. So let's see how long I can survive using this one, coming from the previous event. There we go. A new attempt. So this is just by curiosity, just to see what back accessory is working the best. And look at that. It seems like I'm taking less damage than with the new one, right? But maybe I'm wrong. Look at that. Ignore counter. It didn't work at all. I took so much damage all of a sudden. That was crazy. So almost 30 seconds. I am still alive. So it has the same efficiency as the previous one. So if you already have that back accessory, you don't really need to go for the new one. And then the others are working or less efficient. Maybe this one is working well. Let's just check that. I'm gonna have more attack and some shields sometimes, so who knows, maybe I can deal some more damage during the run. Let's see the difference. If I can survive 30 seconds with this one. Look at the damage I took directly at the beginning, so you can see the difference already. And the target is not taking that much damage. And I am already dead. So you can see the difference between the back accessories. So the three first I showed you are the best one to use to reduce your damage, okay? So now it's time to go back with the Alien Dimension because this is still the best one to me. And it's time to change something. I'm gonna go with another artifact now, and after that I'm going to change my mount. So let's go to morph, and instead of the candelabrum, I'm going to use this one. So normally I should deal a lot of damage, right? But how long am I going to survive? Let's check that. Start of the fight. Let's see the damage I can do, by the way. Normally it should do better than before, and apparently yes, I can deal damage faster than before, but I die faster than before. Okay, this is the first time I am lucky enough to reach the second Blitz Assault, but I'm already dead. So I had a pretty nice result. It was, I feel like, a bit better than before, but I feel like I was really lucky. Let's try again to see if I can do the same. I don't think so. Generally, he still has more than 50% HP remaining before the end of the fight. Or not that time. Am I gonna cast another time the Blitz Assault? And yes, I was able to. Half HP. So it's working almost the same, in fact. And now I'm gonna change the mount. I'm gonna use this one, because you will see that at the start of the fight, I'm gonna take absolutely no damage, but all of a sudden, I'm gonna die very fast. There we go, start of the fight. Let's see how much damage I can do, because with that mount, I also have some increased in attack, so it should be a bit efficient. And look at that, I'm not taking a lot of damage, but right now, I'm gonna start dying very fast. Look at that. Almost dead. I survived almost 30 seconds, but the result was close to the previous test. So the mount is still pretty cool, but let's say that you have many options today. If you have the main artifacts, you have a lot of back accessories and a lot of mounts that you can use. And that will do almost the same. Okay, 20 seconds. Now I'm gonna start taking more damage. But wait, this is my best try so far. Pretty nice. I was almost able to beat him, so I feel like I found the best thing to use. Let's use another mount just by curiosity, because there is another one that is working pretty well, and this is the one. You are going to have some more attack over time and more damage resistance as well, final damage resistance. You are going to have a shield, and during the shield you have some more damage resistance as well, so this is a very good mount as well. So let's see how long I can stay alive during the fight and how much damage I can do. So there we go. Start of the fight, I can deal some damage. For now, it's equivalent to the previous test. And I'm almost dead, but he took less damage than when I used the previous mount. So it is still pretty efficient. Look at that. He had a bit less than 50% HP, but this is not the best amount I can use. But this is pretty close. Okay, so one more time just to see if there is a difference based on luck. If I can proc the ignore counter more often, then I'm gonna survive longer. But I feel like here I took more damage than before. Can I cast another time the Blitz Assault? Yes, I was able to. Look at that. The result is worse. So it really depends on luck. And now another mount that I want to use, and then I'm gonna end the video on that. So this is the Cloud Drifter. With that, when I crit with a skill, I'm getting 20% more attack. And with the Bistro Bow, it releases crazy damage, right? So let's use that and see if there is something different. Look at that. Normally I should deal more damage here. Let's hope I'm lucky and I can crit with my skills so I have more attack. I can cast another time the Blitz Assault, and normally here I should deal more damage. Okay, the result was worse. Let's practice another time just to see if there is a difference based on luck. I feel like I'm taking more damage, right? Okay, I need to survive at least before having the Blitz Assault again. so I can release a bit more damage, and that time it was a bit better than before. Working pretty well, and this is a mount that you can acquire for free, but the Bistro Bow is different. So let's re-equip the best mount I had. This is the one apparently, it's working pretty well with that. And let's just change one more time the artifact. Instead, I am gonna use, you know what, this one. So over time, I'm gonna deal some damage on the target based on my basic attack damage. And I'm also gonna reduce the crit resistance of the target, so normally I should deal more damage. So who knows, maybe it's gonna help. That was the artifact I was using before getting the Bistro Bow, and it was working well, so maybe it's gonna be back because enemies have a lot of crit resistance, right? Let's see if it is doing something or not. For now, I had pretty cool damage, but I feel like it's a bit less than with the Bistro Bow. Blitz Assault, second time, 20 seconds, so I'm gonna start taking some damage because of the mount. And no, the result is worse than before. There is another thing that I want to try. This one, because this is the free artifact, right? You can have that on a lucky spinner. So let's see if it does a difference. I am a Plume Monarch, so I'm going to have a lot of combos, release a lot of basic attacks and combos. And so the more I can do, the more the extra damage I'm going to have. So maybe it's going to do a difference, right? And using that, it feels like I still have some damage on the target, right? So it's pretty interesting to see the difference between the artifacts. But of course, the result is worse than before. But remember that we have a huge power difference between him and me. So now I just need to work on my avian. This is the next thing I'm gonna do, but as I said, I'm still working on that. So this is what I'm working on at the moment. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed the video. If it's the case, don't forget don't forget to hit the like button. Have a really nice day, guys. Take care. Bye bye.